let's talk about something far less serious. Bambu Lab. Bambu Lab. Firmware update introducing new authorization control system for Bambu printers. As part of our ongoing commitment to enhance the overall security of our products, we are introducing an authorization and authentication protection mechanism for the connection and control of Bambu Lab 3D printers. This step is a significant security enhancement to ensure only authorized access and operations are permitted. This change is mitigating any risk of remote hacks. Let's open this link. Printer exposure issues that have happened in the past, and also lower the risk of abnormal traffic or attacks. In March 2024, someone is hacking 3D printers to warn owners of a security flaw. Anycubic machines, Anycubic Cobra 2 Pro Plus Max 3D printer. Do you know it has a security vulnerability? A hacker was posting little ASCII messages saying, hey, your printer is not up to date. Someone calling themselves Printer God bemoans Anycubic's lack security. Okay? So this happened. Bambu is using this as people are hacking printers. Okay? Over 3,700 exposed 3D printers open to remote hackers. In 2018, Octoprint responded with a guide to safe remote access. Octoprint was open, and it could be available on the internet. Could be, not necessarily. And you could have opened yourself up to people messing with your 3D printer. Did anything happen? No. No, it did not. Nothing happened. Summary of security incident responses and abnormal cloud traffic. So, for those of you who aren't aware, Bambu Labs runs a cloud service that your printer talks to. Your slicer sends the G code, the control, through the cloud service, and then that goes to your printer. They were seeing abnormal cloud traffic, meaning abnormal traffic on their service, not to your printer, to their service. In our ongoing operation of cloud services, we have repeatedly identified a series of abnormal request patterns originating from unofficial clients. These requests pose significant security risks and have negatively impacted the reliability of our services. These incidents have included significant abnormal traffic patterns and in some cases targeted DDoS attacks that have impacted service availability. Our monitoring systems have detected peaks of up to 30 million unauthorized requests per day, creating unnecessary strain on our infrastructure. That is not that bad. So, okay. Anyways, but again, this is their infrastructure. Their infrastructure has nothing to do with your printer. Okay? Nothing to do with your printer. They are not saying the traffic comes from your printer. Okay? That's almost zero. Very true. All of this to say, this affects them. This affects their cloud service, not your printer. Summary of responses to printer security incidents, December 2024. Enhanced identity authentication authorization mechanisms to prevent unauthorized control of printers via Handy. Okay, cool. Sounds like that should have happened before though, huh? But that's good. Resolve vulnerabilities that allowed attackers to exploit legitimate identities or authentication loopholes to control online devices already bound by other users. Well, hang on. Isn't that a problem with your system? That's a problem with your service, right? We've heard this before in the tech sector. Somebody refreshes and all of a sudden they're seeing somebody else's messages. Somebody refreshes their bank account and all of a sudden they're seeing the balance of somebody else. That's a problem with your service. Yours. In November, implemented stringent validation of command content to block injection of illegal operations through client cloud control commands. Oh, so you are now validating input? Wow. You're now doing the bare minimum. Congratulations. That should... Who are your developers? This is a problem. You are acting like this is complete lunacy, complete utter chaos that you shouldn't have to do. But this is basic tech things, basic IT maturity organization things. Prevented maliciously constructed commands sent via Studio, Handy, or Cloud interfaces from being executed at the device level by introducing strict inspection and restriction mechanisms. Interestingly, all of these occurred prior to now. Okay? Right? Because it's January 2025, and they've done all of these things in December, November, so on and so on. So we have all of these now stringent, rigorous authentication and authorization mechanisms. But now this year, they've decided that's not enough. That is not enough. Starting January 17th, users will have access to the beta firmware with the official release expected to follow soon. New firmware update for X1 series of printers and corresponding new versions of Bambu Studio. These updates will introduce authorization controls that require official authorization for critical printer operations. Furthermore, unauthorized third-party software will be prohibited from executing critical operations. Critical operations that require authorization. Binding and unbinding the printer, initiating remote video access, performing firmware upgrades, initiating a print job via LAN or cloud mode, controlling motion system, temperature, fans, AMS settings, calibrations, etc. Operations that don't require authorization, because that sounds like almost all of them. Sending status information, for example, MQTT status push for tools like Home Assistant, starting a print job using SD cards, and general operations outside the listed authorization controls. Important information. If you upgrade your printer to the latest authorization-controlled firmware, you must also update Bambu Studio and Bambu Handy to their latest version simultaneously. Failure to do so may result in certain printer controls becoming unusable. Older firmware option. Users who decide to use an older firmware can still use the previous or new versions of Bambu Studio and Bambu Handy without restrictions. Network plugin for third-party slicer. A network plugin API for third-party slicing tools like OrcaSlicer based on open source Studio development will no longer be able to use Studio's network plugin API for authorization control. For these users, Bambu Connect client software will act as a replacement. This new software removes slicing functions while enabling remote control and print initiation. You see, Bambu has a couple different ways to get a print job from your computer to your printer. One of them that I think most people use, that would be used if you're using the Bambu Handy app, is through their cloud service. You slice a file, you slice a build plate, and you hit print. Okay? That goes through Bambu's cloud service. And then your printer, which is connected to that Bambu cloud service, pulls down that job. There's a new job available, pulls it down to the SD card, and then initiates it. All right? So that is how the cloud service works. The other way that you can do it is you can send it to the SD card. So there's the ability for you and your slicer to say send plate, right? You can just ship it to your printer. That happens over your local network. We don't need Bambu's cloud for that. Why we need Bambu's cloud for the other way, I'm not sure. Seems very strange to me that would be the case. And then the third way is you take the SD card from your printer, plop it into your computer somehow, and write the G code straight to the SD card, right? This new thing introduces Bambu Connect. And what Bambu Connect is going to do is something like OrcaSlicer is going to connect to Bambu Connect instead of to your printer directly. It used to be able to connect directly. It can't anymore. Why? What is it doing? Well, Let's read on. To make the experience more secure for our users, but still keep access to printer control using other slices, we are providing a new software tool called Bambu Connect. Bambu Connect is an intuitive and efficient tool designed to seamlessly link with Bambu Lab 3D printers. It securely transmits sliced Bambu Lab G-code and 3MF files to your printer, ensuring a smooth and reliable printing experience. Currently, Bambu Connect is in beta, and we are still working on adding new features for it. We welcome everyone's suggestions and feedback. So it goes from my slicer, like Orca Slicer, to Bambu Connect to my printer, so it no longer uses the Bambu Cloud Service? Don't know. If Bambu Connect is talking directly to your printer, wasn't Orca Slicer doing that before? What is having this man in the middle doing? What is the point? For Orca Slicer users, you can continue using your X Series 3D printer with older firmware, which doesn't include the authorization features. Or if you choose to upgrade to the new firmware, you must download and install Bambu Connect, a printer control software, from the official website. When using third-party slicing software like Orca Slicer, the difference in user experience is minimal. Orca Slicer will talk to Bambu Connect, and then Bambu Connect will either talk to your printer or Bambu Cloud, and then to your printer. Not sure. Print. Oh, send to Bambu Connect. Click. You want to import the file? You've imported the file, and we're selecting the AMS spool we want, and we're hitting send. And away it goes. And it'll print. Interesting. Why is this necessary? The security update is necessary to enhance the overall security of your printer by ensuring that all interactions with the hardware, such as moving axes, heating components, or performing other critical actions, are verified and secure. We can minimize risks and prevent potentially dangerous situations. They didn't outline a single one, by the way, not a single example of something terrible happening. They didn't link to a story where a 3D printer burnt a house down. They didn't link to a story where an axis moving on a 3D printer killed a child. Nothing bad. Some dude hacked an Anycubic printer and put a little ASCII art that said, hey, update your printer. That's what they linked to. Why does it need to be enabled in LAN mode as well? One of the key points of this security upgrade lies in the improvement of the network security capabilities on the printer side. The printer's LAN mode is a working mode we defined in which the printer does not connect to the cloud service, and usually only the client software in the same local area network can access the printer. However, please note that even when the printer is in LAN mode, the network environment in which the printer is located may still be connected to the public network, and other malicious software may still be able to remotely access the printer. In addition, other network devices or software in the local area network may not be secure, such as Trojan horse software or other backdoor software, which may run on computers or handheld devices, or may also run in embedded devices like your coffee maker or like your 3D printer. In the above two cases, the printer may still be attacked from the outside or even remotely. 3D printers have complex moving parts and heating elements that pose a high risk if unauthorized people with ill intentions gain access to them. The results of such unauthorized access can be severe, and we take safety very seriously. We haven't before now, but now we are. Okay, we're validating the inputs on our cloud service now. We weren't before November, but we are now. To avoid the printer being in an unknown situation, we uniformly manage the authorization and control of all accesses to avoid potential risks. Does this mean I won't be able to use Orca Slicer? Bambu Connect enables integration with third-party software. Just send it to Bambu Connect. Bambu Connect will talk to your printer. What functionalities does Orca Slicer have without Bambu Connect? Well, you'll only be able to use Bambu Studio to bind and unbind the printer, initiate a print job, controlling the printer access movements, and performing calibrations. You can't do those in Orca anymore. However, other features such as monitoring the printer status and LED control remain accessible. You can still monitor the print job, but you can't start it. I'm using Home Assistant. Will this still work? Full control of printers via Home Assistant will no longer be possible. While Home Assistant will still be able to access some printer information, certain functionalities will be limited. It's important to note that this update is not intended to restrict third-party software use. In fact, we've actively collaborated with third-party print farm management software providers in the past and continue to support such partnerships. To further improve the user experience, we are introducing a new software solution that will address these limitations and enhance overall print farm management capabilities. You use an accessory such as the Panda Touch. Control features like binding and unbinding the printer, initiating print jobs, access movement, or calibrations. These functions will no longer work. However, other features such as monitoring printer status and LED control will remain. In these cases, we cannot guarantee long-term support for unofficial accessories unless they've been approved by us. Once we became aware of the Panda accessories, we communicated these updates to their creator. Big yellow flag, right? Something smells fishy. Since announcing our security enhancement for X Series printers, we've seen a mix of valuable feedback and unfortunate misinformation circulating online. We value the constructive input from our community, especially from print farm owners whose business rely on our technology. Money talks. This feedback has been important in shaping our approach to ensure a balance between robust security and operational flexibility. At the same time, we must address false accusation. Bambu Lab will remotely disable your printer. Firmware updates will block your printer's ability to print. AMS functionality will be restricted. 3D files are monitored. Duplicated or stolen. A subscription will be mandatory. This article will clarify our stance, outline the facts, and explain how third-party integration will continue seamlessly through Bambu Connect. Let's set the record straight and provide the transparency our community deserves. We have received a wide range of feedback, and we're grateful for the insights shared. Many concerns have come from print farm owners who depend on reliable and uninterrupted access to their 3D printers. We understand the stakes for these businesses, and your feedback has driven meaningful changes. I own one Bambu printer. Am I not important enough? Sounds to me like I'm not important enough. I'm not a Bambu Lab print farm owner. So I'm not important enough. My opinion's not valid. The people that own 100 plus Bambu printers, those people matter a lot. In response, we made the decision to implement an optional LAN mode feature to provide advanced users with more control and flexibility. Interesting. Let's pause right there for a second. Before, it was, we don't want anybody touching your printer except us, because they could start a fire. They could kill a child by moving the axes around. We don't want that. Only we should be able to talk to your printer. Well, how does this make it any more secure? Let's find out. The standard mode, by default, LAN mode will introduce an authorization process that ensures robust security. This option is ideal for the majority of users who prioritize security and ease of use. Despite claims to the contrary, LAN mode through Bambu Connect will require neither internet access nor a user account. This is incredibly important. A lot of people online are talking about Bambu Connect in the cloud and blah, 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 blah. No. Bambu Connect is going to talk directly to your printer. I believe what's happening is they've gotten tired of paying for the cloud service. I think that's what's happening. I think they're saying, you know what? Screw this. Let's just give them a piece of software that they can run locally so that it doesn't need to go through our cloud service. Because the cloud service is costly. And look at all the incidents we've had that have cost us money. Millions of unauthorized, abnormal requests, right? If Bambu Connect can talk to your slicer, and then we talk to your printer from Bambu Connect, problem solved. We don't have to, your connection doesn't go through the cloud service at all. Saves us a bunch of money. We like that, right? But is it secure? Not at all. If you download a piece of software that has built-in, known good connections, so we'll allow Orca Slicer to talk to us, but no one else. We'll allow maybe Bambu Studio to talk to us, but no one else. Okay. Well, eventually, that piece of software that now lives on anyone's computer can also be compromised. For example, maybe the keys leak, which has already happened. So now that's no longer secure. Your claim that this is a security thing is completely unfounded and is not accurate in the slightest. I wish you would just be open and honest about what this is and why, but you're not. I don't believe that you're operating in good faith at all. For advanced users of the X1, P1, A1, and A1 Mini who prefer full control over their network security, an option will be available to leave the MQTT channel live streaming and FTP open. So, this is also a very important point here. What security things are they talking about? What possible bad outcomes are they talking about? Your printer is an open FTP server, is what that sounds like to me. There is a video stream that anyone can tune into, an open FTP server, and an open MQTT channel. And anyone can connect to those things, make things happen on your printer, deliver files, take files, who knows, right? All of that stuff. That's pretty basic things. Also, all of those can be secured without Bambu Connect. All of those can be, like, what is the issue of my computer talking to my printer across my local network using FTP? Well, it's not encrypted. Probably not encrypted. They didn't say SFTP. It's just FTP. The video stream is probably not encrypted. And MQTT, as far as I know, is not encrypted. So all of those things could be done without Bambu Connect. All of those things could be implemented on the printers, and then you just connect to them and talk to them, and there's no middleman. There's no man in the middle needed there. But instead, what they've decided is they're going to have a private secure link between your printer and Bambu Connect. A private secure link between those two, and it is encrypted. And those are the keys that have already leaked, so it's already a wash. There is no point to this at all because that has already happened. That link now exists, right? And so then you talk to this endpoint over here. I don't understand what that changes at all, other than now you just have to talk to the endpoint, right? So like if somebody wants to crush a child in your printer, just send the G code that does that. Send the G code that runs up the nozzle temperature to where it starts a fire, you know? All of those things can still happen, can absolutely still happen. You just have to talk to Bambu Connect first. You can't talk directly to the printer. The feature must be manually enabled on the printer, and users who select this option will assume full responsibility for securing their local network environment. Please note that Bambu Lab will not provide customer support for this mode, as the communication protocols are not officially supported. The truth about our security update. This is not about limiting third-party software. Okay. I'm going to take them at face value here and say, you know what? That's probably true. I think it's so that they reduce their cloud cost. They reduce their cloud service cost. This is beta testing, not a forced update. It will eventually be a forced update. Camera feed concerns. Our live view service uses peer-to-peer connection, meaning you talk to the printer, right? Which means video streams directly between your device and the printer. Only when a direct P2P connection isn't possible does it use server forwarding. And even then, no video is ever stored on any server. Of course, we're taking their word for that. But, okay. Has that happened? Does someone have access to every video stream from every Bambu Lab printer? Because if so, then it's the Bambu Cloud Service that has enabled that. Right? Because the printer lives on my local network. My local network has a firewall between it and the internet. So what unauthorized access is happening there? It has to be on the cloud service side. Then they go over the third-party software integration. It's just sending a file. It's just sending a G-code file over to Bambu Connect, which forwards it onto your printer, just like it was before. And here is a very simplified diagram that I wish had much more detail. Orca Slicer or other third-party slicer talks to Bambu Connect. And then either LAN mode talks directly to the printer or cloud mode talks to the Bambu Cloud Service. I don't understand why the Bambu Cloud Service is still required here. Why is this required? What is the point of that? If this can talk directly here, why wouldn't you just do that always? Like, regardless of security, if you're saying both of these are secure and authorization controlled, why wouldn't you just talk directly to the printer? Why would you go through Bambu's cloud services? Why would you do that at all? I don't think you do. I don't think you will. There's no point. And I think these lines here, cloud mode between Bambu Cloud and Bambu Connect, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. There's no need for it to go to the cloud at all. All of this to say, there's nothing here to me that screams that this is actually in an effort to secure anything. But why not just secure those things on the printer? There's no need for this middleman. The printer could just be more secure. You could just have a more secure printer. Orca Slicer could just talk directly to the printer. You could have encrypted FTP, SFTP. You could use something else other than MQTT. You could have an encrypted video stream. You could do all of those things without Bambu Connect, without making this ominous stance about, oh, well, you can stay on an older firmware, but you really want to update. What are you doing, Bambu? What are you doing? And to the 3D printer community at large, lots of you out there are saying, well, what do I care? I'm just a normal guy using my printer. I'm just going to hit print. What does it matter? Well, it matters a great deal. Let me tell you why. This company has taken open source products, Prusa Slicer, forked them. Prusa has put in an incredible amount of work, time, effort, money into making Prusa Slicer what it is today, and Bambu is just riding on top of that, skimming the cream right off the top. They owe Prusa a great deal. We should be thankful for the vocal minority that speak up in opposition to bullshit like this. Because they're the ones that are enacting change. They're the ones that are making people aware of what is going on. They're the ones that are demanding people do better. They're the reason why companies like Prusa exist. They're the reason why you probably won't see, I don't think, Creality implement anything like this. This is a very strange thing to do. I don't know if it's the language barrier, them saying we want an authorized control plane with Bambu Connect instead of the Bambu Cloud where anybody, I guess, can talk to your printer. Your printer could be secure. We could secure your printer. We have the technology. Please do not allow Bambu Lab to convince you that this is necessary. It isn't. These are all solved problems. Like everything with Bambu Lab, up until now, they have invented nothing new. They have packaged it all together and put a rosy bow on top of it. As an owner of an A1, it's very nice. It works really well. I like it. Okay? I'm a happy A1 owner, mostly. But this is unnecessary. We could make your printer secure without this. Please do not allow them to convince you otherwise. Think about it. Use logic and reason. Why would they need to do this? If they can run an FTP server on your printer, they can run a secure FTP server on your printer. If they can host a video feed on your printer, they can host an encrypted video feed on your printer. None of this is necessary. And I hope that we as a 3D printer community, as a maker community, demand better and ask more questions of Bambu. Because I don't think they're being fully honest. And I don't think it's just a language barrier. I think that they're trying to hide certain things. Your alarm bells should be going off in your head when you're reading some of this stuff. And do not villainize the people that are making this a big deal. I beg of you. Even if you are the most casual of 3D printers, great. Welcome to 3D printing, first of all. We're very happy to have you. The vocal minority that are speaking out against this, the vocal minority that are going to push against this, the vocal minority that will absolutely jailbreak every Bambu printer so that we don't need Bambu's firmware ever again. Those are heroes, and they should be applauded. Seen lots of comments about, well, I just don't like the drama, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is not drama. This is a company that is taking an action on a product you've already paid for. I completely understand if Bambu wanted to charge for their cloud service. Maybe that's a thing they could do. They could charge a subscription for their cloud service, maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing necessarily either, right? They could do that. That would be fine. I think that would offset a lot of the cost for them. This is not the answer. This cannot be the answer to security. This cannot be the answer to minimizing Bambu Cloud Service cost. And it won't be. The open source community, I guarantee, will not allow it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. My name's Legend Tuba Guy. This is Tuba Makes. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.